I've always thought that there was something wrong with me. Ever since I was a kid, I would learn a new thing for about 6 months to a year, and as soon as I was proficient at the task, I'd move on. So when I was a kid, I taught myself how to play guitar, draw, edit photos using Photoshop, and none of them ever really stuck. I was learning how to be a coach, and a big part of that was learning how to create content online. And a lot of the things that the experts teach you is that you have to niche down, since they tell you that you want to be known for one thing. You want people to go to you for one thing. In the beginning, I didn't really understand what that meant, and that idea of being known for one thing never really resonated with me. I knew I was good at a lot of things. I was good at traveling on a budget. I was good at saving up money. It was really a struggle for me to show up online and just overall following my heart. So picking one thing and being known for one thing didn't really connect with me, and I thought that I was gonna fail. I failed in a way where I kept getting stuck in creating content because it felt like a chore. I didn't know what I was saying. I wasn't saying things that were true to me. I was following different formulas, strategies, following things that I didn't really agree with because I had no foundations, until one day I actually let go. I shut down Instagram, which at the time was the only social media I was using, and at this time I found a different platform called Medium, and I decided that because nobody knew me on that platform, that I was going to let go. I was going to express all my different interests, and I was going to express all the things that I've been wanting to express. So I wrote about topics like relationships, personal growth, being lost, not liking going to work. All of this just made me feel free, which is what I was seeking in the very first place. So in this video, I want to share why I think that living a generalist life can leave you a more satisfying and fulfilling life. And also I want to share the mindsets that I had to shift so that I can embrace this lifestyle, so that we don't feel like there's something wrong with you and I. Knowing a lot of things can feel very fulfilling. So right now in June of 2020, I am doing travel nursing. I'm growing my blog and newsletter through writing, and I'm also growing my YouTube channel. And I feel like you wouldn't be able to do any of that stuff if I hadn't picked up the skills that I needed in order for me to be able to do this. For instance, YouTube has a lot of script writing. So when I picked up the writing during the pandemic, I didn't know that it was going to be the thing that I would need in order to be confident in showing up on YouTube. The other example is that now I'm doing travel nursing, and as a travel nurse, you go into places that you don't know and you work as a nurse, so you have to be adaptable, flexible, and I wouldn't be able to do that if, one, I didn't do nursing, and secondly, if I wasn't comfortable traveling alone. And because I love traveling by myself and with other people, I was able to kind of pick up the skills that you needed in order to be a successful, or be comfortable at least, to become a travel nurse. Even if you feel like you're picking up these different skills and you don't know what to do with them, you never know where it can help you. And personally for me, just knowing that I know a lot of things helps me become confident in a way that I see the world, or in a way that I tackle my problems in my day-to-day life, and that in itself is very fulfilling. As a generalist, you're anti-fragile. I remember taking care of a patient once who had problems with substance abuse, specifically alcohol, and he ended up in the hospital in my care because he was confused. He basically didn't know himself. But what I noticed is that he actually had this specific habits of checking his email, needing to call his daughters, and all of these things that are quite rigid for someone. And when I read his story, I found out that before he ended up in the hospital, he was actually a lawyer. He was actually let go of the company that he used to work for because of his age. So there was this man who was over 65, and he was no longer able to practice the thing that he loved the most, which I assume is practicing law. And because he was unable to cope, he ended up having this substance misuse of alcohol that made him end up being in the hospital. I thought to myself that I would never let my career define who I am. I would never let that if I couldn't practice nursing anymore, that I wouldn't know who I am, which is why I pick up a lot of my skills so that I would never have to depend on one job, or no job would have a power over me. And I've already tried this out. I learned how to write. I became a freelance writer, year, I was able to make money off writing, and now I'm doing travel nursing. So having the option to do freelance writing or travel nursing or any other type of job out there, because I have picked up skills along the way, is a very empowering thing. Thirdly, as a generalist, you are more flexible and you're more adaptable. So being adaptable is one of the most important skills these days with the rising of technology, with social media. There are so many things that are kind of evolving, and if you want to be able to keep up with the market, you need to be able to adapt to those changes. So for instance, when I became a freelance writer, I couldn't just learn how to write. Writing is one thing, but learning how to market myself as a freelance writer was a different thing. Learning how to cold pitch to your potential clients was something else. Learning how to negotiate for your pay and learning how to draw up contracts so that you can be seen as an actual business. So I don't think I would have been able to do these things if I wasn't adaptable enough, which I had gotten from being an emergency nurse and all these other side hustles that I've kind of picked up over the years. I also found the following benefits when it comes to becoming a generalist. One of them is that I find that I'm a better problem solver when it comes to solving everyday problems, both in my professional and creative side hustles, just because I can draw from different experiences from the different expertises that I'm in. And secondly, I feel that I'm more creative because I am constantly exposed to different situations in my life, and therefore I can mix and match my different interests. For example, I'm doing YouTube right now, and initially I didn't know what to talk about, but then I figured I have experience in writing and I have experience in nursing, so why don't I put those two interests together and kind of figure out a way to present it to other people who might be interested in one of them or both of them. So I think that mixing your interests together is what's gonna help you kind of stand out to people and also inspire others. So having your different interests in your back pocket really gives you the advantage of having a different worldview or unique perspective about the world. Obviously, this didn't happen overnight. As I mentioned, I've been doing this since I was a kid. I just kind of don't know how to make sense of it as an adult, and I still don't know. I'm still figuring it out. This is one of my biggest questions right now, is that can you really be successful even if you have multiple interests online? And even if it didn't work out, then I feel like I wouldn't have changed anything for the world. Because it's true to me, then it still feels like a success. I had to slowly accept and embrace different mindsets for this to be able to work. Old mindset, you're indecisive. New mindset, you see the world as your oyster because you're ambitious. Because you have so many interests in once, it can feel like you're indecisive. And that may be true, but only because you probably have a lot of potential. It's almost like you don't want to settle because you know that you can do so much more. You know that you can achieve so much more. And the biggest antidote to feeling like you're indecisive is really honing in on a skill at a specific period of time. So I don't usually learn skills all at the same time. I try to give myself a period of time. So for instance, with writing, I gave myself a year, and now I'm doing YouTube and I'm giving myself about 2 years. And I don't really have a lot of skills that I'm working on right now besides this thing, so that I can actually fully embrace the process and actually hone in on the process so that I can actually improve upon it later on. Even if you choose one skill and you decide that this isn't for you, know that you can always change your mind, and know that it wouldn't have gone to waste, because you never know when you're going to use that skill, sooner or later. I find that there's always a skill that I'm so glad I picked up, because now my life is better because of it. Old mindset, you're unfocused. New mindset, you want your life to be full of purpose. So I think that in order for our life to be purposeful, everything that we do in life has to be intentional or have a purpose. When I was learning how to play guitar when I was about 12 years old, I wasn't learning it because I wanted to be a guitarist. Someone who played guitar, or a professional one at least. I just wanted to learn how to be able to play a song. I wanted to learn how to read chords. I personally still don't know how to read music, but I know the basic chords, and if you give me the lyrics of a song with its chords, I would be able to play it for you. And that's kind of the basic skill that I wanted to learn, so I could actually play a song for myself. And once that happened, I know that learning the guitar has fulfilled its purpose. I no longer need to do it consistently or put all of my time and energy into it because I know it serves its purpose. It's very similar to learning a life skill like cooking. You want to learn how the basics of it. You want to be able to feed yourself. That is the main purpose of cooking for most of us, if that's not your professional career, of course. It's kind of the same thing with different interests in your life. For me, I didn't really know what the purpose was going to be for my writing, but initially I wanted it to be a form of expression of art because I didn't have that in me at the time, and now it's serving with the purpose of still continuing to do that and also making an impact and also helping me with the YouTube channel, because writing is a big part of learning how to be on YouTube. So if you're feeling like you're unfocused with the new project, give it a purpose, give it an intention, and ask yourself, what would it look like if this project or if this skill has served its purpose? Old mindset, there's something wrong with you. New mindset, you just haven't found your community yet. I never really thought that there was something wrong with me. I actually thought that it felt cool that I like to adapt into different things, but when I was online I felt like, oh my god, there is something wrong with me because I refused to niche down. So I started writing about it online on Twitter, and I wrote about 10 essays about it, like short essays, and I even coined the term multi-passionate creator on Twitter, and to my surprise, a lot of people actually resonated with it. You can see all the comments that people are saying how, oh my god, I feel this too, thank you for writing. To me, that kind of served its purpose of, oh, there are other people like that, I just didn't know they existed. So if you feel like you have something that you feel like you're alone, or that something is wrong with you, that you're the only one who thinks that way, I don't think so. You just need to find your community. You can do that by actually writing online, by creating YouTube videos, by doing a podcast, and with the help of the internet, it will find the people that it's meant to find. I just wanted to reassure you that, there's nothing wrong with you. By learning how to embrace a generalist life, you can feel more satisfied and you can actually be more confident to keep following your dreams. And on that note, don't forget to be kind to yourself and take it one day at a time.